Hello everyone, Tina here. I hope you're having a great day. Today I get to share with you a design team project for Gerda Steiner Designs with this stamp set, and it's so cute. It's called Smell Like Christmas. It has some cute little mice on there, but it's not just a Christmas stamp set. I thought the hot cocoa in there would be perfect for winter time, for the after Christmas cards. And speaking of Christmas, I want to wish you all a very Merry Christmas. This video is pre-recorded and I am on a little holiday, but I hope you are too, and I hope you're enjoying time with friends and family and loved ones. So Merry Christmas to everyone, and thank you so much for all your Merry Christmas wishes. I also have the coordinating dies. We're going to be using those to create a project today. We're going to start off by taking some Inkadinkado masking paper, and we're going to do a little masking with the little chocolate chip cookie in the stamp set. I have Memento ink. I'm going to place my cookie on my acrylic block, and we're going to stamp this 5 times. We're going to build a pile of cookies for our little mouse to stand on, so we're going to do a little masking with them. I'm going to take my scissors and fussy cut each one of these out. And once we have that done, we're going to do a little bit more stamping. I'm going to take a piece of Nina 80-pound cardstock. It's a Copic friendly cardstock. And we are going to stamp with Memento Tuxedo Black ink. We're going to stamp the, I want to call it a coffee cup, but it's a hot cocoa mug. There's little marshmallows floating in there. And I'm also going to take the little mouse. He's so cute. He's wearing a Santa hat, but it can be also a winter hat. In fact, I'm going to change up the colors to non-traditional red and white today. But I stamped him, and we're going to stamp 3 of the chocolate chip cookies also. Now, I did leave the Copic coloring in. I'm going to use my Copic markers. I left the caps out for you guys, and I'm going to play a little bit of music while I color, and then I will catch you back. Okay, coloring is done, and I did use a white gel pen to clean up my my messies when I went outside the lines. I'm just going to take the coordinating dies and I will cut these out. I like that the Gerda Steiner Gerda Steiner dies are already separated for you, because I've poked myself so many times nipping those apart. After we have those die cut out, I'm taking my white gel pen. We're going to add a little bit of white accent. I just brightened up my little marshmallows in the hot cocoa, and I'm adding a few little accents on my little mouse here. We're going to add a couple little dots to his cheeks, just to brighten him up a bit. And you can see I used non-traditional colors, so he looks like he's nice and cozy for the winter. Okay, now we're going to build our little background. To do that, we're going to do a little bit more masking. I'm going to trim down a larger piece of the masking paper, And then I'm going to take a double stitched rectangle die. I'm going to cut out a window in here. And I think this die was a little bit too big. We're going to take a smaller one. And I'm going to run that through my die cut machine. And then I'm also going to take another piece of white cardstock, and we're going to cut out our background panel. It was a little, the die that I had picked was a little bit too small. So I chose one that's actually 4 inches by 5 1/4. It'll leave me a little bit of a white border on my card base. But I'll remove the release paper off of my masking paper, and I'll place that in my background panel, making sure it's right in the center. And then we're going to do a little ink blending with some distressed oxide inks to create a little bit of texture in my background. I'm going to use a stencil from my favorite things. This is the Drifts and Heels. And I'm using 2 different shades of oxide inks. I have Tumbled Glass, and then I have Twisted Citron. I'm alternating each color, and I sped it up really fast, but I'm just going up and down this entire panel, just shading it in, going from green to blue to green to blue. Once it's all shaded in, I'll remove my mask, and we have a nice background here, something a little different. And I got oxide ink on the very top, so I just took a baby wipe and wiped it off, and it worked just fine. Now I'm going to take our little images, and starting with our little hot cocoa mug, I want to do a little more stamping with some more cookies. Now if you don't want to do the masking, you could probably skip this step and just color in a bunch of cookies and then add foam tape behind them, but I thought we'd just do a little stamping on our background. So we're going to stamp a couple of the cookies right over the oxide ink, and then hindsight, coloring over oxide inks probably with your Copic markers is probably not a good idea, because since it's like a chalky finish, it didn't color too well, and I was afraid I may have ruined my Copic markers. So I suggest maybe just coloring in a bunch of cookies and then gluing them down separately than what I'm doing here. But I'm adding a little bit of masking again, and I'm just stacking the cookies on top of each other. And again, I want my little mouse to be standing on top of all these cookies. This way he's at the same height as the top of the hot cocoa mug. Super cute. And we're going to stamp a couple more. After we have these all stamped, I'm going to remove the mask, and then also use the same Copic markers that I used to color in the cookies. Now I did create a different shade also, but I think once I have all the layering done, it worked out okay. So there's my little stack of cookies all colored in. I'm going to flip over all of my images, and I added foam squares. I've just placed them along my little background scene. We'll add a few extra cookies underneath for some dimension. And I did take the little steam swirl and stamp that with my VersaFine Onyx Black ink right above the hot cocoa. For my sentiment, I'm going to do it in 2 parts today. I'm stamping Wishing You, and then I'm going to take a black marker and then add ... right next to it. I thought we would finish off the sentiment on the inside of the card. I'm just making those a little bit more bold so they kind of match the Sending You. I added a piece of fun foam behind my panel, and we'll just place that on an A2 size card base, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inches. Next we'll stamp the rest of the sentiment on the inside. We're also going to stamp Warm Thoughts. So the front will say Sending You, and the inside will say Warm Thoughts. And I thought, while I'm at it, I'm going to stamp a few extra cookies. And I had those little cookie masks, so I thought we'll just use those. I'm going to stamp 3. I just piled them together, and I colored them in with the same colors I used earlier. Normally I don't finish the cards on the inside, but I thought it would be a nice change. And I got a little bit of ink on the side, so I'm using my sand eraser to take that off. I'm going to finish off with some bells and whistles using some ivory gems, just to add a little sparkle, and then that finishes off my card for today, guys. I thought it was super cute. Nice little winter card to send to someone you love. I do want to let you guys know that the Gerda Steiner shop is now closed. They closed December 14th through January 7th. So you won't be able to get this through the Gerda Steiner shop, but I will link it to the Simon Says Stamp shop in case you're interested and want to purchase it. But they're on a holiday, and it's probably well deserved. This is a fantastic company, and I love being a design team member for them. But I wish you a lovely day. Thank you so much for stopping by, guys. Again, I wish you a very Merry Christmas. Thank you again for all your Merry Christmas wishes. I think you guys are the best, and I love reading your comments, and they just inspire me, and they are absolutely wonderful. My crafty friends, have a lovely day. We'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.